In this video, we discuss about the disequilibrium conditions of the economy in Harrod model. Economy will be pushed into state of disequilibrium. The conditions, the equalities are not obtained. The economy pushed into state of disequilibrium. The conditions are G greater than GW or C less than CR. The second possibility is G less than GW or C greater than CR. These are the two disequilibrium conditions. The first state of disequilibrium when G greater than GW or C less than CR. G is the actual growth rate, then GW is the Warner growth rate. Actual growth rate is greater than Warner growth rate, or actual amount of capital is less than the required amount of capital. That is the first disequilibrium condition. Under this equation, growth rate of income is higher than the growth rate of output. It means that the demand for output would exceed the supply of output. The economy would experience inflation. If C is less than CR, the actual amount of capital falls short of the required amount of capital. This will lead to the deficiency of capital. A fall in output would result in scarcity of goods and hence inflation. The condition is that the demand for output exceed the supply of output. We have the lower level of output and we have higher income. So demand for output also high. So the economy is experiencing a scarcity of goods. That means inflation. That is the first disequilibrium condition. Then second disequilibrium state is that G less than GW. In this situation, the growth rate of income is less than the growth rate of output. Growth rate of income is less than the growth rate of output. There would be more goods for sale, but the income would be insufficient. That means the deficiency of demand. The economy faced the problem of overproduction in the second disequilibrium condition. Similarly, when C is greater than CR, the actual amount of capital would be larger than the required amount of capital for investment. The larger amount of capital available for investment. The larger amount of capital would lower the marginal efficiency of capital. In the long period, then secular decline in the marginal efficiency of capital would lead to depression and unemployment. This is the condition of disequilibrium in the second possibility, G less than GW. The equilibrium between G and GW is called as knife edge equilibrium. G equal to GW is the condition of knife edge equilibrium. In order to follows the one of the major tasks of public policy is to bring equality between G and GW in order to maintain the long run stability. For this purpose, Harrod introduces his third concept of natural rate of growth, that is GN. This is the maximum growth rate that an economy can achieve with its available natural resources. GN is the natural growth rate. The maximum growth rate that an economy achieve with its available natural resources. The equation for the natural growth can be stated as follows: GNCR equal or not equal to S. It is stated that the natural growth rate is determined by macro variables like population, technology, natural resources, and capital equipment. These factors place a ceiling beyond which expansion of output is not possible. It is stated that the natural growth rate is determined by the variables like population, technology, natural resources, and capital equipment. These are the ceiling beyond which the expansion of output is not possible. Then interaction between G, GW and GN. By comparing GW and GN, it may be concluded that GN may or may not be equal to GW. In case GN happen to be equal to GW, the condition of steady growth would prevail. But such a possibility is remote one because a variety of factors come into play and make the balance between these two growth rate difficult. There exists a greater probability of inequality between G and GW. We have already seen that inequality between G and GW. These are the two conditions we already discussed here. Is the condition of G greater than GW is one of the disequilibrium condition, and the second condition is G less than GW. There's the possibility to maintain this G and GW, equalizing G and GW is to be too difficult. The reason is that the variety of factors are interacting with these growth rates. So there is a probability of inequality between G and GW. It make It may take two conditions like GW greater than GN or GN greater than GW. Then the GW greater than GN, that means GW exceeds GN, G would lie below GN for most of the time. In this situation, there would be a tendency G would be lie below Gn, thus the actual growth rate is less than this natural growth rate. In this situation, there would be a tendency for cumulative recession. A downward trend would set in, resulting in unemployment and depression. There is GW is greater than GN. Warranted growth rate is greater than natural growth rate, or actual growth rate would lie below natural growth rate. That is the condition. The economy would be lead to a condition of recession, a downward trend resulting in unemployment and depression. A downward trend cannot continue indefinitely. The reason is that lower limit to depression is set by the minimum consumption level. The entrepreneurs may not reduce the fixed capital in the hope that a future might entail bright prospects for investment. These two factors would gradually set the wheels of recovery in motion. The economy would experience an upward trend. Then next disequilibrium condition is Gn is greater than Gw. In this situation, G would also exceed Gw. Actual growth rate exceed warranted growth rate. There would be a tendency for cumulative boom and full employment. Such a situation will create inflationary trend. To check this trend, saving should be encouraged, as this would ensure a high level of employment without inflationary pressure. Here we discussed the two conditions of disequilibrium conditions and how to correct this disequilibrium conditions into an equilibrium or to be a positive one. I think all of them have clear this video. Thank you.